Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 48 of the Walk with Ethan Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Black. My co-host John couldn't be on the show today. He has some family stuff going on, so it's just been me, Brian, solo this week. So we're going to hold these shows from Friday, June 30th through today, Sunday, July 2nd. So we're just going to get right into it. We're just going to kick it off with the Friday, June 30th shows. So we kick it off with Impact Wrestling's Down Under Day 1, first of day 2, 2 days in Australia. Opening match select defeating Alan Brooks, 6 minutes and 19 seconds. Giselle Shaw defeat Erica Rita, 7 minutes and 33 seconds. For the digital media title, the champion Joe Hendry retains over Eddie Edwards, 11 minutes 41 seconds. He will defend against Moose on night 2. Kara Kelly defeating Aisha, 7 minutes and 9 seconds. And for the X-Division title in a triple threat match, Chris Sabin, the champion, retains over, Frank Kazarian and Robbie Eagles, 14 minutes and 49 seconds. In the non-title match, we had the Impact World Tag Champs ABC Ace Austin Chris Bay defeating Brian Myers and Moose, 15 minutes, 57 seconds. Non-title match, Knockout Champ Dion Prost defeating Steph Delander, 9 minutes and 7 seconds. In the main event, a rematch from Under Siege. Impact World Champion Alex Shelley retains over former champ Steve Macklin, 21 minutes and 6 seconds. Honestly, out of that show, I recommend checking out the X Division title triple threat match. Basically, the last 4 matches, pretty much from the X Division title down to the bottom. That's the 4 I recommend checking out. But that is day 1 of Day Under. And then we go to Warrior Wrestling, making a return. They're doing the Friday Night Light show. So we can go with Saving Gouge defeating Cole Reddick, 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Sky Blue defeating Heather Reckless, 14 minutes and 3 seconds. Tag team match, we have Bang Bros, August Matthews, and Dave Bain defeating Coda Hernandez and Sort of Incredible Inversion, 17 minutes and 44 seconds. Jordan Cross defeating Storm Grayson, 11 minutes and 4 seconds. Canellis get a cash defeating Warhouse, 18 minutes and 6 seconds. Semi-main event for the Lucha title in a triple threat match. Champion Greg Loco retaining over El Hijo de Vikingo and Gabriel Ferroza, 11 minutes and 9 seconds. In the main event for the Warrior Wrestling title, champion Casey Navarro retains over Matt Cardona, 26 minutes and 32 seconds. So that's Warrior Wrestling. And we will go to NXT level. This week, they only did 2 matches. So, opening match, we have Blair Davenport defeating Kylie Jordan, 5 minutes and 24 seconds. And Joe Coffey defeating Miles Bourne, 6 minutes and 41 seconds. So it's NXT level up. And then we will go to SmackDown from June 30th. So they did take this earlier in the day because UK was a few hours ahead of us. So we can go with the first of 2 title matches for the Undisputed Tag Team titles. Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeats Bray Dudley, Kit Wilson, and Alan Prince. Sami Zayn and Kit Wilson lockout gets the match started. Then they go back for Smith Shields for Zayn, Doors, and Arm Drake. Wilson ranks over right hands and tags it Alan Prince. Prince and Sami head crashing in the announce table as the action spills to the outside as we got to a commercial break. After the break, Wilson delivers a knee to Sami's throat and then tags in Prince. Zayn lands a back body drop, tags in Owens, and he fires on right hands on Prince and delivers a series of stomps and closes him out of the ring. Then delivers a clothesline to Prince before hitting one to Wilson and falls over the senton. Owens and Prince slide back in the ring. Owens hits a cannonball, sets it for a stunner, but Prince escapes and hits a pair of chop blocks. Wilson tags in, lands a code breaker with some assistance from Prince. I think they call it the dry martini. Some martini. I heard the martini. I couldn't fully hear what the tag team finisher is. It's a pretty cool tag team finisher, honestly. And then he takes him back in. They hit Spill Milk. They go for the pin by Sami Zayn, broken up at the last second. Wilson tosses Sami out of the ring, but Owens dumps him out of the ring and hits a German suplex to Prince. Zayn and Wilson take it, and Zayn hits a Blue Thunder Bomb. Pretty Daily switch places, using their apron technique to allow Wilson to surprise Sami Zayn with a roll up. Zayn catches him with an Explorer, sets up for a Haluva kick, but Prince tries to interfere, but Owens takes him out with the stunner, hits a Haluva kick on Wilson for the victory and retain the tag titles at 12 minutes and 33 seconds. Fun opening match. I just won 6 out of 10. Then our second match, non-title match, United States Champion Austin Theory goes with the Brawling Brutes, Rich Holland, hometown boy. Holland wins. He gets a future shot at the U.S. title. We get going with a lockup. Holland sends Theory crashing in the corner, delivers a right hand to his spine, and falls with an uppercut, lands a double hook, double underhook delay vertical suplex, and then sends Theory into the corner. Theory sends Holland in the ring post shoulder first, steers his donk, but Holland escapes with a response to a double series of unhooked suplexes, hits a forearm. Theory sends Holland short first in the top rope, and then does a chop to the throat, and then a Roll for the middle rope shotgun dropkick to the throat of Holland for the victory at 2 minutes and 41 seconds. A little short, but I mean, I just went by the time this wasn't too bad. And since Holland lost, he does not get a U.S. title match. Then after match, Austin Theory beats down Holland, but Sheamus runs down the ring to make the save. Then after the break, we get a video recap everything that's happened with the Bloodline over the last few months. Then we go to our third match of the show. We were supposed to get this last week, but for a small reason, it got canceled. Bayley goes one with Shotzi Blackheart, and this is for Bayley's spot in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Bayley wastes no time. She hits a kick to Shotzi's midsection, then delivers a right hand. Shotzi fires back with a bulldog, and then Nita Bayley sends him falls with a kick to her head. Bayley slides out of the ring and strategizes with Io Sky. Shotzi goes for a tope Suicide on both of them. Bayley ducks away, and Io got hit with it. They get back in the ring, and Bayley connects with Bayley to Bayley. Goes for a cover, but Blackheart reverses the momentum. Bayley kicks out and raises her right hand, sets it for a suplex, but Shotzi counters that into a DT. Hits a senton in the corner, and then connects with a sliced bread. She goes for a cover. Io gets Bayley's foot on the bottom to break the pin. Shotzi gets in Io's face. That allows Bayley to rip the eyes and then connect with the roast plant for the win and keep her spot in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match at 3 minutes and 27 seconds. This was okay for what it was. I just won 6 out of 10. Anyway, go backstage. We see after the break, we go back. We see Shotzi attacking Damage Control, but Damage Control gets the upper hand, suplex her onto a table, and then Bayley cuts a little bit of Shotzi's hair off. Then it was time for the Grayson Waller effect. And by the way, if you missed the reason Grayson Waller hasn't wrestled over the last little bit was because on his last NXT match he broke his leg, so that's why he hasn't been wrestling over the last couple months. So that's why he's been hosting these Grayson Waller effect shows. But so this week's guest was Logan Paul. He makes his way down the ring. Waller asks Paul what it means to him to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and Logan says it would mean a whole lot in London. His dreams don't end until he captures gold, and when he wins the contract, he can call his shot on anyone he wants for adding. He might even smack LA Knight's head with a briefcase. Knight's music hits and he hits it on the ring. He tells Paul that what he's proven a lot with everything that's given. That's the key. He hasn't been given anything yet. The world jumps to their feet because he's made it that way. He says he respects that Paul can make a name for himself on social media, but he's standing in his ring and the odds are in his favor because he's the one and only megastar. Logan asks who the megastar. He is the megastar too. He's always supposed to be was a manager. Then he asks LA if he's lucky he's even addressing him. That was actually kind of a nice burn there by Logan, even though I'm not a big fan of him. That I actually did like that little cheap shot there. Do we hear the music of the LWO? And Santos Escobar marches down the ring. He says, well, Paul wants the briefcase, and LA Knight thinks he needs it. Do we hear the Brian Birds music hits? We hear, and Butch runs down the ring, and he takes out Paul. Then we get a brawl between the 4 out of 7 in the men's Money Bank ladder match. Then we come back, we go right into the triple threat match. This match was also supposed to be on last week's show, but for reasons it didn't happen. LA Knight, Butch, and Santos Escobar. Escobar and Butch are going out in the ring for LA Knight joins the action and fires off stomps to Butch in the corner. Logan Paul is right beside the announce table watching this. Knight gets sent under the apron and he hits a spear to both Escobar and Butch and then plants Butch with a move. Escobar climbs to the top rope and goes flying to take down LA Knight, then hits Butch with a Hurricanrana. He catches Knight with one of his own, delivers running knees to both men, and sits Butch on the top rope. Hits in a Hurricane, goes for the cover, but LA kicks out. Hits an elbow drop to Escobar, then tosses Butch back in the ring and gets Logan Paul's face. Paul got taken with a Escobar tope suicida. Butch catches him with an Enzuigiri. Escobar climbs the top rope, but Butch catches the right hand and hits the bitter end for the victory at 3.5 minutes. This was actually a really enjoyable 3.5 minute triple threat match. I wish actually that these three got a little bit more time. I could just went 6 out of 10. Then after the match, Butch grabs the ladder, looks to climb it. LA Knight dumps out of the ring. He looks to climb it himself, but Logan takes him off the ladder and sends him to the post shoulder first. He does the same, but Butch clotheslines his Logan out of the ring, climbs the ladder, and unhooks the briefcase, saying he's going to win. Spoiler alert, he doesn't, but I'll talk about that in the Money in the Bank review. And if we go to our main event match of the show, our final title match on this episode, for the women's title, Asuka defends against Charlotte Flair. Bianca Belair was in the crowd holding up her ticket as she was watching in the front row. Charlotte fires off chops, then looks for a big boot, but Asuka counters into a German suplex. Flair delivers one of her own and kicks up. Asuka tries to go for the Asuka lock, but Flair catches a roll for a 2 count. Flair catches with a big boot. Asuka hits a backstabber as we go to commercial break. We come back for break. Flair sends the top rope, goes for a move, but Asuka rolls out of the way and delivers a kick to Flair's knee. but Charlotte comes back with a spear, goes for a cover, but Asuka kicks out, and the action goes to the outside. Charlotte climbs to the top turnbuckle, hits a moonsault, falls over a series of chops, and falls Bianca Belair. She tries to go for another big boot, but Asuka pulls Bianca out in the way, so Flair hits her. Then she hits Asuka in the apron before Bianca hops over the barricade and starts raining out right hands on Asuka. So the referee calls for the bell. So Asuka does win by DQ and retains the women's title at 8 minutes and 38 seconds. I actually really enjoyed this till I get why they did the DQ. I said before, like I'm not a big fan of DQs and counts and time limit draws, but sometimes I can make exception when it happened. Like in this case, I just went 6 out of 10. And then after the match, Bianca clears the announce table. But frustrated Flair gets in Belair's face, tells her that it's her match. Bianca hits her with a right hand, but Flair returns the favor. Then she sends Charlotte into the ring post, plants Asuka on top of the announcer with KOD, hits an arm to Flair, and sends her crashing on top of Asuka to close that segment. I imagine we're probably getting this triple threat match probably at SummerSlam, I imagine. But honestly, I'm actually pretty excited for a triple threat for the women's title. Then our Maven, to close out this week's SmackDown, we see the Bloodlines, Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman make their way down the ring. Roman tells London to acknowledge him. This has been a long time. He says he loved the Usos to say they're the ones for 2 years, but in reality, he's the one. He says he's the only one and calls of the greatest of all time. He says he's the only one who loves and cares for the Usos and says he gave him countless opportunities and allowed him to be in the promised land. He says he's the one in his family willing to give him a second chance and says he'll give him as many chances as they bow down to him, acknowledge him, and apologize. And apologize. So we hear that Uso's music hits, and Jimmy Uso says Roman has things twisted. He asks if Roman thinks they're trying to get back in the bloodline and since they're past acknowledging and apologizing. He has Roman if he thought about the contract and losing, he said he'll get pinned tomorrow night. Double money in the bank. Just anyway, not the point. Jey Uso says Roman will be the only one out tomorrow night and says he'll be the trouble chief anymore when he loses. The Usos said they don't want to assume Reigns' role, but Solo Sikoa has to vote to do so. And we saw Roman laughing, and then Solo gives him a look, and then Roman stops laughing. Then Roman asks the Usos if it's a game before he berates Jey. He tells him he is nothing without him, and Jey shoves him. Then Jimmy catches him with a super kick before Solo sends Jimmy out of the ring. Jey rings a right hand on Roman as officials to break things up. Roman hits Jey with a Superman punch, and both teams continue brawling out on the floor as we close out this week's SmackDown. Overall, actually, I enjoyed this episode of SmackDown. Not a bad go home episode. Honestly, if I had to pick the only matches I recommend, it would be the triple threat match and the 2 title matches. If I had to pick 3 at the most, that's the 3 I recommend checking out. If I'd say the weakest thing on the show, I'd probably say the US title match. In the Bailey Shotzi, just I don't know. A lot of these matches were short, but I enjoyed the Bloodline stuff. So that is SmackDown. Overall, I give the show a 6 out of 10. So that was SmackDown, and then we will go to AEW's Rampage. So we kick it off with the Ring of Honor World Title on Claudio Castagnoli defense against Commander. So Claudio sends Commander, crashes the mat, and then Claudio tosses Commander into the corner, lands a big boot, goes for a vertical suplex. Commander carries into a sleeper, but Claudio escapes and hits the swing. Commander sends Claudio out of the ring, goes flying, then charges out. Claudio ducks out of the way and sends him crashing into the barricade, hits a big boot that sends Commander tumbling into the crowd. He dumps him back into the ringside area, raises him above his head, and sends him crashing in the ropes. Dumps him back inside the ring, hits him with a DT, plants him with a DT, sorry, and then goes for a cover, but Commander kicks out. As with a commercial break, we come back from break. Claudio and Commander are teaming on turnbuckles. Claudio sets up for a powerbomb, but Commander counters into a Hurricane, falls with a Tahiras that sends Claudio crashing out of the ring. He climbs to the top rope, goes flying, and drapes Claudio across the barricade. He climbs to the top rope and hits a shooting star press. He gets Claudio back in the ring, climbs the top, and then connects with a Hurricane. Claudio hits an uppercut that only got a 2 count. Commander hits a tornado TT coming out of the corner for a climb back up to the top rope and hit a 450 splash. Delivers an integrate. Let's go flying, but Claudio plants it with the uppercut sword that knocks Commander out, and the referee force calls the bell. And so Claudio retains the world title at 13 minutes and 43 seconds. I actually really enjoyed this opener. I give this one 8 out of 10. Anyway, our second match of the show, we got Shawn Spears, Canada's own, going with the Blade. And by the way, this Rampage, this was taped at the First Ontario Center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Match starts with a lockup, and then Spears hits a snapmare, then does a cartwheel, does his signature 10 pose before he dumps Blade out of the ring, and then hits a series of chops, sends his head bounce up the ring steps, follows up with another chop, then plants some spine first on the apron. Butcher tries interfering, but Shawn sends him crashing into the barricade, and then sends Blade back in the ring. Butcher beats him down while the referee is distracted, hands him over to Blade, and he plants him face first. Blade comes back with some chops, but Spears comes back with some of his own, hits a thrust pass, right hands, clothesline, more right hands in the corner, and it connects with the C4, a running Death Valley driver for the victory at 4 minutes. This wasn't bad. You kind of figure Shawn Spears was getting a win in his home country. I give this one 5 out of 10. Then our third match of the show, we got tag team match. We got QTV, QT Marshall, and Johnny TV, also known as John Morrison from WWE or John Hennigan. He had so many names. So basically, or Johnny Lee when he was in AEW the first time, but he had a lot of names. Go against Matt Hardy and Brother Zay. That is Isaiah Cassidy. Johnny TV hits a boot to Matt Hardy's midsection. Hardy targets Johnny's arm, then tags him Brother Zay. Zay hits a stomp to Johnny's arm off the top rope as Hardy holds him in place. QT Marshall takes in, lands a right hand, but Zay fires back with a hurricane and then follows up with a neck breaker. Hardy tags in, and they do some double teams before Johnny TV takes back and sets the first stand moonsault. Hardy moves out of the way and tags in Zay. Zay hits a crossbody off the top rope, follows by hurricane as we cut to a commercial break. When we come out for break, Marshall tags in and Zay catches him with a reverse hurricane. Hardy and Johnny TV tag in. Hardy hits the 3 phases deletion to Johnny before it hits a side effect on Marshall. He climbs to the middle rope and hits an elbow drop, falls on his DDT onto Johnny, goes for the cover by QT, breaks up the pin. Brother Zay tries to take him out, but QT dumps him out of the ring, hits Hardy with a pop-up uppercut. Johnny hits a kick and climbs the top and hits a corkscrew before Brother Zay tags him. Hardy hits the side effect. Brother Zay lets go flying, but Hardy camera distracts Hardy, and this opens the door for Johnny. TBD hits the split leg moonsault for the victory at 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Honestly, I didn't really care for this match. I just went 3 out of 10. Then after the match, Ethan Page inserts himself between the QTV and Matt Hardy. QTV provokes QT leading the Page to attack him. QTV gets the upper for Anthony Bones, and Billy Gunn makes the save to close that segment. And then we go to our main event of this week's Rampage. Hikaru Shida goes one with Taya Valkyrie. Match starts with a lockup, then Taya plants Shida face first, but Shida comes back with an arm drag, followed by jumping knee into the corner, rains out right hands, and falls with a hurricane. Ashes spills to the outside, and Shida grabs her chair from under the ring, looks to use it to land a stomp, but Taya ducks out of the way and slides back in the ring. Shida joins there and hits it into Curry, but Taya fires back with a forearm and falls with a chop and sends Shida's leg bouncing off the ring post and gloats as we cut to a commercial break. After the break, Shida delivers a series of forearms and elbows, but Taya knocks her out of the ring and joins her. Shida hits a suplex on the floor, hops on the apron, and hits a Meteora. She sends Taya back in the ring, hits a slime forearm, but Taya fires back with a double knees for a 2 count. And then Taya locks in a submission, but Shida escapes. Taya looks to put Shida away with the roll to Valhalla, but Shida rolls through. Taya pins her, but Shida reverses it to get the victory at 10 minutes and 26 seconds. Actually, a really awesome main event. I get this one 7 out of 10. I wouldn't mind these two running this match back, but I really enjoyed this match. I just won 7 out of 10. So overall, Rampage, not a bad episode. I just won 6 out of 10. Only 2 matches I recommend check it out. It's basically really only to the opening match, the Ring of World title match between Claudio and Commander, and the main event between the 2 ladies there. Shawn Spears and Blade would be number 3, and then obviously tag match would be number 4. But the opener match and the main event are the only 2 I recommend checking out. So that was AEW Rampage. And now we will go to Saturday, July 1st. So we will kick it out with Stardom, and I do apologize if I butchers. Torgo, so the Kurosawa. Again, I do apologize if I butchered that name wrong. So we kick it out with a champion versus champion match. Artist to start and champion Tekla defeating high speed champion Saki Kashima via Poison Spider Death Drop, 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Tag team match with Rebel and Enemy Ram Kachao and Maka Osaki defeating Queen Quest's Lazy and Mayu Amasaki via Torch and Rack Bomb on Amasaki, 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Tag team match we had BMI 2000 Ruka and Natsuhiko Tora defeating Hazuki and Saida of Stars via Swanton Bomb on Ida, 8 minutes and 38 seconds. 8-woman tag team match with Queen Quest's Utami Shista, Asumi, Sai Kamatani, and Hina defeating Otis, New Black Tag Team Champ Starlight Kid, Features starring champion Rina, Momo Watanabe, and Fuga Death via Diamond Footsal Arena, 13 minutes and 21 seconds. 6-woman tag team match, we had Del Mondo's 2/3 of the R-Star Cheers, Julia and Mai Sakura, to Maika, defeating Club Venus's Gus, Asar James, Mina Shirakawa, Mirai May, and Waka Tsutsuyama via Engato Ashi. I do apologize if I butchered that name, the finisher name, on Waka at 11 minutes and 55 seconds. 6-woman tag team match with Suzuki, Sari Inoue, and Mei Sarah, defeating stars Adu Chibi Woman Mayu Itani, Hida, and Momo Kongo via Tequila Shot on Inu, 12 minutes and 36 seconds. In the main event, 6-woman tag team match, we had Male Tears, World of Storm, and Wonder Star James Tam Nakano, and Natsupoi, Tino Yuna Mizumori, defeating the New Eras, Mirai and Amisori, Husen with Hanako via Northern Cross on Hanako, 15 minutes and 26 seconds. So that was Stardom. And then we go to DDT's Yokohama on Limited Volume 4. So we go with tag team non-title match. So we had KOD Tag Team Champions Damnation TA, Sasaki, and MJ Paul defeating Yusuke Okada and Kashima Sumi via Diamond Elbow Drop, 7 minutes and 37 seconds. Tag team match, we have Paramount's Yuki Ino, Daisuke Dino, and Yoshihiro Imanara defeating Akiko Mao and Itoki Honda via Spear, 10 minutes and 7 seconds. Tag team match, we had 2/3 of the 6-man tag champs Hamaro, Kazuchika Higuchi, and Yuki Ishida defeating Saki Aikai and Yua Koryoku via Tsuki hold on Saki, 9 minutes and 36 seconds. More tag team action this time is members of Burning, Universal Champion Tetsuya Endo and Jun Akiyama, defeating Disastrous Bogda's Extreme Champion Kazuchika Hara, and Toru Washi via jumping knee on Hara at 6 seconds. So we had a rematch. Burning defeating Disastrous Box, 8 minutes and 46 seconds, this time via Inside Cradle. More tag team matches under hardcore rules. We have Eruption, Yuki Sakaguchi, and Hideki Okatani defeat Isushi Anita and Toy Kojima via God's right knee on Kojima, 12 minutes and 2 seconds. Tag team match in Omega's KOD Openweight Champion Yuji Ino and Old 40 Champion Madoka Oshii defeat Harashima and Soma Takagi via fucking bomb on Takagi, 14 minutes and 16 seconds. In the main event tag team match, Nick Wayne and Takashi Masta defeating Yuki Ino and Uni via Wayne's World on Uni, 15 minutes and 55 seconds. So that's DDT. And then we go to Dragon Gate. This is their Kobe Pro Wrestling Festival Eve. This is the night before the actual show. So we came on with 6-man tag division. We had Natural Vibes as 2/3 of the Open Dragon Gate champions, Kazi and Big Boss Mushu, along with UT, defeating Gold Classes Kota Minoura and Meteora, who was teaming with Yamato, via run, elbow smash, 11 minutes and 44 seconds. In a 10-man battle royal, Dragon Dia defeating Jiggy Horiguchi, Kokomo Ishiwaka, Shihiko Boy, Keiji Tora, Takashi Yoshida, Problem Dragon, Australia, Ryo Tanaka, and Loon, via Reptali Rana on Keiji Tora, 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Tag team match Misaki Moshuki and Don Fuji defeating Ryu Fujita and Daiki Yanaguchi via ground minute Gaminate. I do apologize for butchering that part of the finisher name. On Yanaguchi, 7 minutes and 16 seconds. 10-man tag team match with Natural Vibes Open to Triangle champion Jackie Funk Kamei, Open to Brave Gate champion Jason Lee and Strong Machine J, Who's Tino with the Dragons, Ultimo, and Dragon Kid, defeating Seabrats, Hayo, Ishin, Shun Skywalker, D. Monty, and Kai via modified crucifix pin on Hayo, 11 minutes and 7 seconds. And main event 6-man tag team action. We had Gold Classes Ben, BB Hulk, and Ben K, team of Yuki Yoshioka, defeating Open the 20 Gate champions M3K, Shmushu Mushuki, and Yoshi Kanda, and Open the Dream Gate champion Madoka Kiki Yuta via Frog Splash on Kanda, 17 minutes and 57 seconds. So it's Dragon Gate. And then we go to night 2 of the Impact Wrestling Down Under tour. So we kick it off with, for the OPW heavyweight title, Adam Brooks defeating Robbie Eagles, 13 minutes and 2 seconds. Tag team match, we have the Natural Classics, Stevie and Tom Philippe, apologize for the butcher of the last name, defeating the fellow cities, Drew London and Paris De Silva, 4 minutes and 46 seconds. For the digital media title, the champion Joe Hendry defeating Moose, 12 minutes and 16 seconds. Eddie Edwards defeating Slack, 11 minutes and 49 seconds. Steph Delaner defeating Killer Kelly, 9 minutes and 51 seconds. Frank Kazarian defeating Brian Myers, 14 minutes, 47 seconds. For the Impact World Tag Team Title Champions, ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay retains over the Motor City Machine Guns, X Division Champion Chris Sabin, and Impact World Champion Alex Shelley, 19 minutes and 3 seconds. In the main event for the Knockouts title, Deonta Purrazzo defeats Shaw, 17 minutes and 4 seconds to retain the title. And if Shaw would have won, she would have been that match between Purrazzo and Trinity at Slammiversary would have been a triple threat match. Honestly, for night 2, I recommend checking out the opening match, the OPW title between Brooks and Eagles, the Impact World Tag Title, and the Knockout. That's the only 3 I recommend check out from that show, but that was Impact Wrestling. It will go to Wrestling Revolver's Cage of Horrors 2. So we kick it off with a Fatal 4 match. Cranky Loco defeating Alan Angels, Brian Keith, and Cole Raddick, 7 minutes and 58 seconds. Cole Raddick was the substitute for Joan Oliver. Marine Shavir defeating Rachel Armstrong at 4.5 minutes. 8-person tag team match with Blair Onyx, Jake Manning, JT Energy, and Matthew Palmer. Defeat Alpha Sigma, or if you put the 3 letters, ASS. Brent Oakley, Casey Jacobs, and The Pledge, who's team up with Damian Chambers, who currently holds a golden ticket at the Rings of Destiny. He won a gala match to get a golden ticket for a shot at any title on the show. 12 minutes and 21 seconds. For the Revival World title, the champion Jake Chris defeating Count Blackwood, 10 minutes and 14 seconds. In a dog collar match, Crash Jackson defeating Fulton, 11 minutes and 51 seconds. In a Tornado Tag Team No Disqualification match, the units Ellie Catch and JT Dunn defeat Jessica and Masa Slamovich, 8 minutes and 43 seconds. Roger Strong defeats Speedball Mike Bailey, 21 minutes and 38 seconds. In the main event, a 6-man tag team Cage of Horrors match for the Wrestling Revolver Tag Team TLs. The challenger second gear crew, Ron Manders, Mish Moore, and Matthew Justice defeating the champions Durascos, Myron Reed, Trey McGow, and Zachary wins 26 minutes and 4 seconds to win the titles. So that was Revolver. And then we will go to AEW's Collision, episode 3. So we'll kick off with the AEW World Champion MJF and Don title action. He goes against Kip Morris. He hits the hit seeker and then makes him tap out with the crossface in 28 seconds. I can't give it a rating because it was under a minute, so no rating. Then after match, MJF gets on the microphone and starts running everyone from Canada, then offers to defend the title against anyone from Hamilton. Do we see a gentleman come out, and then MJF just basically tell him to hurry up. Then Ethan Page makes his way down there. He is from Hamilton, Ontario. Page slaps the microphone in MJF's hand, writing out his family's history in Hamilton, and then he accepts the challenge from MJF and then calls him a bare minimum bitch. So we get an impromptu world title match between MJF defends against Ethan Page. Page trying to go for the Eagle's Edge early, but MJF escapes and goes out, clips Page's knee. MJF works over the knee of Page and ankle, but Page finds her way out of a leg hook and hits him with a jawbreaker. MJF caught Page coming out of the corner with an Alabama slam, then locks in a half crab by working on the bad knee. Page tried to escape a couple of times, but MJF countered them and put on until Page finally made the bottom rope. And then that sets the break started. We come in for break. Page caught with a cutter. Then MJF tried to kick Page knee again, but Page fought for the pain and hit series of clotheslines and a hurricanrana. Then he hits it ankleism into a vertical power slam for a 2 count. Tries to go for an Eagle's Edge again, but MJF escapes and walks into a twist of fate. Page goes to the top rope, but MJF crushed him. MJF tries to go for a suplex, but Page finds out and power slams him from the middle rope for another 2 count. He tried to go for the Eagle's Edge for the 3rd time, but Page's legs gave out, and MJF come with a dragon screw in the ropes, and it drops with the Heat Seeker to get the victory at 10 minutes and 57 seconds. I actually really enjoyed this world title match. I just won 7 out of 10. And then we go to our 3rd match of the show, our first of 3 quarterfinal matches of the 2023 Owen Hart Cup. Powerhouse Hobbs goes on with Dustin Rhodes. The winner of this match will meet the winner of the Ricky Starks Juice Robinson match. So Rhodes escapes a power slam attempt from Hobbs, but QT trips up Dustin. This allows Hobbs to send Dustin to Rhodes with a body block. On the floor, QT sends Dustin hit first in the ring post while Hobbs was distracting referee Aubrey Edwards. And then Dustin got busted open here, so Hobbs works on that cut as we go to pitcher break. We come back from break. Power Hobbs got a 1 count. Dustin fights back with right hands pair of lariats. Hobbs blocks a springboard power slam for Dustin, but he blocks a move from Hobbs. Then he hits a crossword pin out with his brother Cody. Then he follows with a power drive for a close 2 count. I actually thought he had it there. Then he tried to hit a Cobra for another 2 count. QT trying to interfere, got later with an uppercut. But Hobbs hits a avalanche and a spine buster for only a 1 count. Dustin hits a spinning power for 1 count of his own. He tried to go for a figure four, but Hobbs kicks out of it and sends Rhodes into a right hand from QT. Hobbs hits a spine buster to get the win at 11 minutes and 11 seconds. I actually really enjoyed this match as well. I just want also 7 out of 10. So Hobbs will meet the winner of, like I said, Ricky Starks and Juice Robinson, but I'll talk about the collision matches after this review. Then we got Miro in action. This time he goes against the Workhorseman's Anthony Henry. Henry caught Miro with a boot, then came off top with a stomp, hits it into Gary in series of forearms. Miro body blocks Henry against the ropes, signs in the mat into Gary, Masha kick, and then the game over for the quick submission win at 3 minutes and 8 seconds. I get this one 5 out of 10. It's good to see Miro on TV. And then we're in the ring, we see Tony Schiavone. He introduces the Bullet Club Gold. That is Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns, Austin and Coleman. Jay White and the Bullet Club. I'm sorry, the Guns show up with the Bullet Club because Jay and Juice have experience all over the world. Then the Guns start running down all the people they beat recently, including CM Punk, which actually got a bit of CM Punk chant from the crowd, which is shocking. Then Shimai announced that all the other members of Bullet Club will be banned from ringside during Juice's match with Ricky Starks. White takes the microphone and bars Shimai from talking for the rest of the interview. I did laugh at that. Then he calls out Punk for bringing his red bag out a few weeks ago, but he didn't seem interested. And then he did challenge FTR for the World Tag Team titles. Then we get a promo from backstage from CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks. Punk calls MJF's belt from Remco from AEWShop.com, and then FTR accepts Jay White's challenge and that would be, by the way, that'll be on next week's episode, but I'll run the character break quick after this review. And we'll speak of the Owen Hart Cup and Juice Robinson. We go to our second quarterfinal match of the show, Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson. There we go. Sorry, my computer's acting up. And then they change arm wringers, headlocks, and hip tosses. Juice trips up Starks on a drop down and starts flop face first on the middle rope. And then Juice works over Starks' leg and then slams him in the rope's leg first. That sends to a break. After the commercial break, Juice hits a cannonball in the corner for a 2 count. And then Ricky Starks makes a comeback. He hits a DT, but then kicks up, goes for Snake Eyes, and a DT for a 2 count. Juice comes back with a hitting DT followed by a hot shot, and then a leg Leary for a 2 count of his own. So he locks at a Texas Cloverleaf, but Starks got elbow with a rope break, and then he almost got the win after a roll and a handful of tights. Starks hits a back suplex for a 2 count, and Juice goes for a hurricane off the top rope, but Starks blocks it by hanging onto the ropes. He missed a dive off the top rope, and Juice hits a beautiful spear for a 2 count again. Then he tried to go for the Juice is loose. Starks counters and hits a spear. Starks try to go for a rainbow show, but Juice escapes. Starks rolls him up for the win at 15 minutes and 24 seconds. Honestly, this wasn't too bad. I could just want 5 out of 10. I kind of wish they cut 5-6 minutes out of this match, but it wasn't too bad. So Ricky Starks will meet Powerhouse Hobbs in the semifinals of the Owen Hart tournament. And then after match, the rest of Bullet Club will attack, or they were about to attack Starks, but CM Punk and FTR ran in to make the save. And then we go backstage. Lexion interviews TNT Champ Lucha and Christian Cage. Sean Spear interrupts and he wants a shot at the title. You didn't really miss much on that interview. Then we go to our semi-main event of Collision for the TBS title. Chris Statlander defends against Lady Frost. Lady Frost did lots of cartwheels, and then she flips into form, and Statlander, and it got suplex of a Casanova attempt. That sends to a break. After the break, Frost ducks a kick from Statlander and hits a German suplex. She counters a tombstone attempt with a spin DT for a 2 count. She tried do more flips, but it backfire as Statler nails over the clothesline and then hits the Saturday Night Fever for the victory at 7 minutes and 54 seconds. This wasn't too bad. I kind of wish I had more time. I could just want 5 out of 10. I won't actually mind these two running it back. And then we go backstage. Lexi Later is with Andrade El Idolo. And then last week, the House of Black stole his mask and he wants it back. House of Black appear on the monitor behind him, and Malachi Black promises to get the mask back all in good time. And now Hito said he's very patient. And then we go to our main event, the final quarterfinal match of the 2023 Men's Owen Hart Cup tournament. The winner of this match will meet CM Punk in the semifinals. Roger Strong versus Samoa Joe. CM Punk did join Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness on commentary. So Roddy starts hitting Joe with some shots, and then Joe hits him with a forearm, and then Strong sends Joe up to the floor, hits him with a drop kick, and then Strong hit a couple of shots on Joe, and then Joe just lays him out to get with a forearm. Back in the ring, Strong got Joe back and works a chinlock. Joe escapes it and drops Strong with a back elbow. Charges at Joe in the corner, but he got laid with a Uranagi for a 2 count. When we come back for break, Strong hits a high knee for a 2 count, and then goes for a slide backward, but Joe forms his way out of it, hits a reverse atomic drop, running boot, and a senton for another 2 count. And then Joe is running out Roger Strong with a neck lock, but he misses. Then he tries to go for a second senton, but misses. Strong hits 3 back-to-back clotheslines. The third one takes Joe off his feet, almost did, so a draw kick finally did. Strong catches Joe and gives him a running slide backbreaker, hits a running boot for a 2 count, the sick kick. Forgot the name for it for a sec. Then he came up the middle ropes by hitting a draw kick for a 2 count, falls an Olympic slam for another 2 count. He nailed Joe with a jumping knee, tried to go for a suplex, but Joe counters it in the clean clutch, and then that referee calls for the bell after Armstrong could not answer the referee's 3-arm thing. So for the win at 13 minutes and 24 seconds, I really enjoyed this main event. I just won 7 out of 10. So Samoa Joe will meet him in the CM Punk in the semifinals. And then after match, Punk and Joe exchange looks. Joe grabs a chair and a bunch of referees security try to keep both men separated. Joe slides back in the ring and nails Strong with a chair. Adam Cole runs to check on Strong, and the medical team put Strong on a stretcher as we get a stretcher job to close out this week's collision. Overall, I actually really enjoyed the show. This week's collision. I give this one 6 out of 10. I forgot my thought for a sec. But honestly, out of this show, I recommend check out the MJF Ethan Page World Title match, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dustin Rhodes, and the Samoa Joe Ron Strong match. That's the 3 I recommend. But for next week, we have FTR, the World Tag will be Bullet Club Gold in a eliminator match. It basically Bullet Club Gold when they get a shot at the tag titles. We get our first of 2 semifinal matches of the Women's Owen Hart Cup. Ring of Honor Women's Champion, I think, the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, Will Nightingale. And also, we get both of the men's semifinal matches as CM Punk will meet Samoa Joe and Ricky Starks goes well with Powerhouse Hobbs because the finals are happening on July 15th. And on the July 15th collision episode, basically, we'll have the finals of both men's and women's Owen Hart Cup with the winner of Starks and Hobbs meets the winner of the Punk Joe match. And the winner of Athena Will Nightingale match will meet the winner of the either Sky Blue or Ruby or Big one of those 3 ladies. But that's the collision episode. But yeah, like I said, 6 out of 10 overall score. I recommend checking Page, MJF, Rhodes, and Hobbs, and Joe and Strong. That's the 3 I recommend checking out. But that is AEW Collision. And then we will go to WWE's Money in the Bank. 7 matches on the show. This is from London, England as well, from the O2 Arena. So we kick it off. There wasn't much on the pre-show, really, so you could skip. They don't do pre-show matches anymore, so you didn't really miss much. Then we go to the main show. We kick it off with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Damian Priest, Logan Paul, Butch, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, and Santos Escobar. So all the other men jump Logan Paul, get this match started. Excuse me. And then they also gain on Damian Priest, basically going after the 2 biggest men in this match. And then Nakamura and LA Knight do some exchanging. Butch attacked him with a cricket bat that he got under the ring. And the Priest was going to go after Logan Paul, but Paul talks him out of it. And then they were trying to, he suggests they should team up. So they set 2 tables side by side. And then Priest nails Logan Paul with a brutal looking uppercut. And then Ricochet hits a flip top for a table to the outside. Sorry, my notes are just, my career's acting, my notes are just going everywhere. Sorry, I do apologize. So Knight tried to climb the ladder, but Paul brought him down with a Russian leg sweep. And then Priest nails Paul with another right hand. And then looks like there was a ladder bridge. Priest set it up on the outside. It looked like he tried to suplex him through, but Butch steps on the hands of Priest. And then Paul hits a frog splash off the apron onto the ladder bridge, which it didn't break. And then Butch put Escobar in a sleeper off the elevator ladder, and then Ricochet comes off the top rope and hits a crazy looking springboard 450 splash on the Butch and Santos Escobar. Priest climbs the ladder as everyone starts brawling. LA Knight brought him down with a back suplex. Paul hits Knight with a almost like a zigzag, and then Ricochet hits Paul with a shooting star press. Escobar takes out Ricochet with a Falcon Arrow. Everyone on the outside, Butch hits a moonsault off the ladder. That was a cool spot. And then Butch climbs the ladder, but Logan Paul prevents him from doing so. Paul takes out Ricochet, and Escobar takes out Logan. Nakamura and Ricochet battle top of the ladder before Escobar takes out Knight with a Hurricanrana. Ricochet and Paul leap on the second ladder. And then before kicking Escobar off their ladder. And then Knight shoved the ladder with Paul and Ricochet led into Ricochet giving Paul. Oh, this spot was crazy. A Spanish fly for both for one of the tables. The other one did not break. That was actually a scary landing. Like it looked like they were trying to land on the top rope, and that's what Ricochet was gonna do. But both men kind of slipped on the top rope. But that was I'm glad Logan Paul is okay, even though I'm not a big fan. I'm glad he's okay. That was a pretty nasty landing. But after that, that took Logan Paul out of the match for that one. And then Butch knocks Knight off the ladder for Priest shoves Butch up the ladder into the corner. Knight shoves Priest out of the ring before he could rip Escobar and Nakamura. Knight was so close to grabbing the briefcase. Priest brought out with a broken arrow, climbs the ladder, and grabs the briefcase for the victory at 20 minutes and 25 seconds. I really enjoyed this Money in the Bank ladder match. I could just want 8 out of 10. And then we got our first title match of the show for the women's tag team titles. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defend against the former champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel and Liv actually never lost the titles because they had to fake it to Morgan injured. So Baszler yanks Morgan off the top rope and works after the arm/shoulder. Ronda Rousey logs the ankle lock. Morgan fights over by hitting a code breaker, takes to Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel hits Baszler with a follow slam before hitting Rousey with a power slam for a 2 count. Rousey tried to go for armbar Raquel on the middle rope, but Raquel counters it into a powerbomb. Goes for the cover, but Shayna broke up the pin. Shayna locks Morgan in an armbar. Ronda locks Raquel in an ankle lock, but Raquel broke it up. Excuse me. And then Morgan tried to go for a tag, but Ronda sent Raquel off the apron. Shayna hit Morgan with a German suplex, locks that care for the clutch. Morgan slips out, and Rousey tags in. And then this caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting this. Rousey was attacked by Shayna. Shayna turns on her own partner as the UK fans were chanting, "Thank you, Shayna." And then Baszler locks Ronda in the cure for a clutch and then walks away. Raquel hits a Tejana bomb on Rousey, and Morgan hits the Oblivion for the victory and to regain the women's tag team titles at 9 minutes. This was okay. I just want 5 out of 10. I was not expecting Shayna Baszler to on Ronda Rousey, but that was a I'm glad that they won the tag titles though, but I can't wait to see why Shayna attacked Ronda. And by the way, spoiler for mine, John's predictions, this is the only one we got wrong. The rest of the matches we got right. But I'm glad Raquel and Liv got the titles back. And then we go backstage. Caleb Braxton interviews Damian Priest. He wants to be called Senior Money in the Bank. Priest doesn't know which title he'll be cashing on, but he think he'd be champion. And by the way, this year they started doing this new world. Before you could cash on any world champion, so Roman or Seth for this year, but now you can cash on any champion you want to, because last year obviously they cashed on the US title. So they're basically just going for any title he wants. And speaking of titles, we go to the Intercontinental match now. Gunther defends against Matt Riddle. Gunther works over the injured ankle of Riddle. Riddle hits Explorer out of the corner, but couldn't fall because of his ankle. So Gunther hits a nice looking close up for a 2 count. Riddle fights back, hits a senton for a 2 count of his own. Gunther comes on top with a splash, but Riddle caught him in a triangle choke. Gunther gets out of it and hits a powerbomb again for a 2 count. Then he locks a single leg crab. Riddle tries 5 of it, so Gunther repeatedly working on the injured ankle of Riddle. He locks locks in a leg lock, and Riddle had no choice but to tap out and retain the title at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. I really enjoyed this match. I just won 8 out of 10. I couldn't believe how short it was. I actually thought I thought it was at least 10, 12 minutes. I'm surprised this went almost 8, but I really enjoyed it. This one 8 out of 10. Like, it was kind of predictable. You figured Gunther was retaining, but I actually wouldn't mind these two running this back, have it like 15, 20 at the most, but and after the match has gone through a celebrating, we hear the entrance music of Drew McIntyre making his way down the ring. I did laugh when Cole said that the rumors of Drew McIntyre's Mr. were not true. I did laugh at that. Gunther shoves McIntyre, so McIntyre lays him out with the Glasgow kiss and then hits the Claymore kick, and then he holds up the Intercontinental title to close that segment. I think we're getting that match at SummerSlam because if you remember back in WrestleMania, Gunther beat Sheamus and Drew was actually not pinned in that triple threat match, so I could see them having that match at SummerSlam. And then our next match, we go to Cody Rhodes going with Dominic Mysterio, who had the Women's World Champion Ripley at ringside. Dominic smashed Cody before Cody rips out his cast. Well, Mike Cole did say the doctors told Cole earlier that the doctors had Cody's injuries pretty much healed. And then Dom Bales tries to run to the back, but Cody caught up with them. Dom tried to leave for the crowd, but Cody throws him back in. Rhea gets into Cody's face as Dom tries to return turnbuckle, but the referee catches him doing it, so Dom hits a tope suicida. And it throws him back in the ring. Dominic tries to go for the three amigos. Cody counters into a gore buster before hitting a power slam and then decides to kick for a 2 count. Cody tried to go for a dive, but Ripley gets in his way. This allows Dominic to hit a 619, but Cody caught him with a spinning Alabama slam. He falls off with a Cody cutter and then a crosswords. Took him 1 to get the win at 8 minutes and 40 seconds. I don't know why I could not get into this match, to be honest with you. Like, I figured Cody was winning, but honestly, I could not get in this. I don't know, I feel like something was missing, but I kind of found it boring. I just want 4 out of 10. And I'm surprised no Brock Lesnar showed up, to be honest. I'm actually a little surprised Lesnar didn't show up for this, but soon. But something we weren't expecting, we got John Cena make his second appearance in WWE this year. Last time we saw him was at WrestleMania. So he makes his way down to the ring. And it's a surprise. He himself was surprised because he's used to hearing John Cena sucks during his entrance as the crowd sings along. He says it's the first premium live event in London in over 20 years. Then he asks what the hell it took us so long to spend some time with you as the London crowd went nuts. He said it wasn't up to him. It was up to the decision makers who didn't know how to feel about London. Cena says it takes a hostile environment and the crowd can be a distraction. He says the crowd wasn't a distraction. They were the show. He wanted the world to know they were underappreciated. He was big on respect. And over the last 20 years, the fans earned his respect as the fans start chanting, "Thank you, Cena." Cena says they don't like it when the performers stop and let the crowd cheer, but that's what makes these nights special. He said there's no crowd more exciting than London, England. Then he said he was trying to bring WrestleMania to London. I actually wouldn't mind that, actually, a UK WrestleMania. As the O2 erupted with yes chants. I didn't see it. Encouraged the crowd to let them know that WrestleMania would sound like. And then Grayson Waller interrupted him. He makes as the fans are chanting, "Who are you?" and telling them to shut the F up. And then he said he was a fan of Cena and his performance of Scooby-Doo really moved him. I actually did. I don't know why I laughed at that movie. I think it's just because I wasn't expecting Scooby-Doo, I guess. I don't know, but it was pretty funny. Anyway, Waller says Cena was lying to the fans. He thought WrestleMania was coming there. He hated the weather in London and wanted WrestleMania to go to Australia. And then he responded, "Trust me, I don't." As the fans were, I miss what they chanted, but he said, "Trust me, they need to." Well, I know that things have been going for Cena lately. He lost to Austin Theory, Roman Reigns, and The Fiend. Top of The Fiend at WrestleMania 2020, Theory at this year's WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2021. But the fans were simple and only remember the most recent things they saw. He offered to save Cena by having it on a show at WrestleMania Australia. Cena says no, and then he was about to leave, but Grayson stopped him. Grayson says nobody says no to him, which Cena asked him to say again, which he did appreciate. He went to soak in the London crowd with his friends, but Waller attacks from behind. He poses until Cena lays him out with the AA to close that save. Excuse me. This segment actually wasn't too bad. It went a little too long for my liking, but overall, it didn't hurt anybody. I didn't mind it so much. And then we go to our fifth match of the show. We go to our other Money in the Bank matches from the women's side. Io Sky, Bayley, Becky Lynch, Selena Vega, Zoe Stark, Trish Stratus, looking to come to 2023 Miss Money in the Bank. So Becky makes her win on her, and Zoe tries to attack her in the aisle, which Becky nails with an elbow. Trish and Zoe works together to take control of the match, but Damage Control team would take over next. The crowd was singing for Bayley, so she got frustrated and told them to shut up, which I laugh as well. So Vega fly off Io for a moment, but Damage Control bounces back and forth between the ladder. Becky prevents Damage Control climbing the ladder. Selena uses Trish's body as a bridge between the two ladders, and everyone took turns taking each other off the ladders. Io climbs the ladder, but wasn't close to the briefcase. So she climbs pretty much to the top of the ladder and hits a beautiful moonsault while Trish is holding the ladder. When they show in the replays, they show Trish was holding the bottom rung of the ladder. I seen that ladder was shaky. I was like, uh-oh. But I'm glad no one got hurt there. So Trish takes advantage of it and she climbs the ladder, but Becky went after her. Becky fights off Trish and Zoe, but Selena takes out Lynch and Trish with a crossbody. Selena shoves Io out of the ring before Lynch and Strash team up to give Selena a double powerbomb. Trish hits Bayley with satisfaction onto a ladder before Zoe drove Becky into a ring post. Zoe grabs handcuffs and puts them on Becky, but collapses to the ring before Becky fights her way off. Then she chucks Trish over the announce table and drops Zoe on the ladder. And then she hits Trish off the announce table with a manhandle slam onto a ladder before Zoe nails Lynch with a neckbreaker. Selena and Zoe still at the top of the ladder where she hit a beautiful sunset powerbomb onto a ladder bridge. That was a crazy bump. I gotta give those ladies. That was crazy. That was a good bump. I was climbing for that. Io climbs the ladder, but Bayley shoves the ladder down. Bayley did kind of regret it, but that makes everyone for herself. So she climbs the ladder. Becky hooks the other end of the handcuff to Bayley's mouth, fish hooking, and then brought her down the ladder. Bayley tried to find her, but Io handcuffs both Bayley and Becky together, so Becky and Bayley were stuck on the ladder. Io climbs over Bayley and grabs the briefcase for the victory at 18 minutes and 5 seconds. I really enjoyed this Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I give this one 9 out of 10. I like this one. Actually, this Women's Money in the Bank a little more than this year's men. But overall, for all the Women's Money in the Bank, this is probably my top 2 or 3. But I'm glad Io Sky is your 2023 Miss Money in the Bank. And that ending, by the way, where she handcuffed both them to the ladder, handcuffed both while they're both on the ladder, that was actually a pretty unique finish. And then we go to our final title match of the show, our semi-main event for the World Heavyweight title. The champion Seth Rollins defends against Judgment Day's Finn Balor. Rollins hits a early tope suicida, but he couldn't do any more because of the injured ribs. So Balor takes over by working on said ribs. Rollins fights back for strikes, backbreaker, and a knee strike before Balor went back to the ribs. It's a headlock elbow drop for a 1 count. Balor hits a sling blade, but Rollins comes back with a super kick and a go bomb. Balor gets the knees up on a frog splash, falls with a shotgun draw kick. Rollins avoids coup de grace and Balor avoids a curse stomp. Dietrich strikes, so Rollins caught Balor's Pele kick and hits a pedigree for a 2 count. Priest walks in with the Money Bay briefcase as the fans are cashing in. Rollins are distracted, so Balor rolls him up for a 2 count. Rollins confronts Priest, and he just grabs a chair and sits down. Balor uses that distraction to hit a drug the Rollins into the barricade, then he hits a gritty ground off the announce table and then off the steel steps. Back in the ring, he hits a shotgun draw kick, tries to go to the top rope, try to go for a gritty ground for a 3rd time, but he got dragged when Priest got off his chair and started walking through teasing the cash in. He goes for Rollins with it and hits the curve stomp to retain the world title at 12.5 minutes. I just want 7 out of 10. This wasn't bad. Probably the weakest of all the matches they had. And after the match, Priest and Balor arguing. And then we get a video package for Edge. And then Caleb Brooks interviews the Undisputed Tag Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who were watching in the skybox. Owens says it was great to be in London, puts over some of the results from the show. Kayla asks Sami about the bloodline civil war. He says it's been waiting a long time to see, and tonight was the night that Roman got excited was coming to him. And then they play Sami's music, and the crowd sung along. And then we go to our main event, the bloodline civil war tag match. Universal Champ, Undisputed Universal Champ, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa go against the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. So had the edge over Jimmy, but Jay kicks him from behind, eyes ref restricted. So was called Garza. Roman takes in, and then Jay Roman circled Joe for locking up. Roman had the advantage over Jay, so Jimmy tags him with for a double super kick, but Roman left the ring. Roman gets back in after a pep talk from Paul Heyman and works over Jay. Sikoa takes and had control until Jimmy tags him, but Sikoa knocks him out with a forearm. And then Roman takes the opportunity after getting a chance. If you hate Roman, stand up, sit down on the apron. Roman takes after a while and hits Jimmy with a drive-by kick for a 2 count. Solo takes back and Rowan takes off and Jimmy couldn't take because Soul yanked Jimmy off the apron. Jimmy avoids a Superman punch, makes a hot take to Jay, who hits Sokoa punches, integrate in a flying crossbody for a 2 count. Jay hits a running hip attack, but Rowan makes a blind tag. Jay hits a tope suicide before hitting Soul 1 as well. Jay tried to go for an armor, but Reigns hit with 2 Superman punches. He tried to go for a spear. Jimmy tags it, and they Usos hit Rowan with a double spear for go for pin, but Soul broke it up. Both teams stood up, start trading right hands as we get a 4-way brawl. Jay shoves Sokoa into the ring post as Roman hits Jay with a Superman punch for a 2 count. He tried to go for a spear, but Jimmy hits it with constant super kicks. Jimmy went for a splash for Roman covered guillotine choke. Jimmy tried to hoist Roman up, but he sends him in the corner. Jay makes a blind take as Jimmy shoves Roman into the referee who fell in the ring. Usos hit Roman with the 1-2. He went for the cover, but there was no ref. Per usual. Usos trying to go for the double Uso splash, but Sikoa makes a save. Sikoa and Roman circle both hit Uranagis before Soul hit Jimmy with a Samoan spike. Sikoa hit Jay with the Samoan spike as Roman hit spear. Reigns goes for the cover as Soul stacked both Usos, but the Usos kicked up after the last second. That got a big pop in the crowd. Sikoa starts beating up the Usos. And then so it's okay. Super kicks Jimmy unannounced. Try to go for splash off the barricade, but Jimmy moves and Sikoa crashes for the announce table. Jay and Roman exchange super kicks. Superman punches back and forth till Roman hit a spear for another 2 count. When he kicked out, Jay low blowed him. Jimmy takes it and the Usos hit out super kicks to both Roman and Sikoa. Jay takes it and hits the Uso splash to pin Roman Reigns and get the win at 32 minutes and 10 seconds. This first time since December 15, 2019, Roman has been pinned, so 3.5 years, but I'm glad. This was a really enjoyable match. I just went 10 out of 10. And then the Usos celebrate to close out the 2023 Money in the Bank. Overall, great show. I really enjoyed it. I just won 8 out of 10 for overall score. I say the only 2 matches I recommend skipping is the Cody Dominic match and the women's tag title match. That's the only 2 I recommend check it out, but check out the rest of the matches. So that was Money in the Bank. And now we will go to close out this week's episode. We'll go to today's show, Sunday, July 2nd. So we'll kick it off with Stardom's Midsummer Champions. So we kick off with tag team match. Waka Tsuyama and Yuna Mitsumori defeat Mayu Amasaki and Hina of Queen's Quest via Aussie Suplex on Hina 5 minutes and 38 seconds. 6-woman tag team match with Suzuki, Mei, Sarah, and Hanako defeating stars Suzuki inside Ida and Ai Sakura via JP Coaster on Sakura. Sakura 11 minutes and 31 seconds. 8-woman tag team match with Utami Hayashishita, Saya Kamatani, Asumi, and Lady C of Queen's Quest. Defeating IWGP Women's Champion Mayu Iwatani, Kogwa, Hida, and Mobile Congo of Stars via Star Crush on Congo, 11 minutes and 21 seconds. 8-woman tag team match with Don Mondos, our starting champions Juliet, May, Sakura, and Tekla, Team of Maika. Defeat future starting champion Rina, Natsuhiko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Ruka of Oitai via MPR on Ruka, 12 minutes and 18 seconds. In a passion injection match, Nate Takahashi defeating New Blood Tag Champ Starlight Kid via 1 second X, 14 minutes and 28 seconds. Got us some starting titles on the line. Rose Gold, Rina Shirakawa made the champions, defeating God's Eyes, Amy Sori, and Suri via Glorious Clash Mina on Sori, 14 minutes and 45 seconds to retain the titles. For the high speed title, Saki Kashima the champion, defeating Fuku and Def, 3 minutes and 33 seconds to retain the title. For the Wonder of Stardom title, the 2023 Cinderella Tournament winner, Mirai, defeating the champion Tam Nakano, 22 minutes and 16 seconds for Mayor Shock. In the Indian strap match, you had to hit all 4 corners to get the win. Sori and you defeat Natsupoi, 26 minutes and 36 seconds. So that was Stardom. And then we'll go to All Japan Pro Wrestling Summer Action Series Day 1. So we can go with 6-man tag team match of Ryzen Hayato, Ryu Inoue, and Sama Watanabe, defeating Evolution, Dan Tamara, and Hikari Sato, and Ryu Kawamura. 9 minutes and 59 seconds via Chicken Wing on Dan Tamara. Tag team match, we had Black Generation International Karato Suzuki and Harley Jackson defeating All Asian Tag Team Champ Yoshitatsu in 1/3 of the All Japan Pro Wrestling 6-man tag team champs Black Maruense, 7 minutes and 12 seconds via Tiger Driver on Maruense. More tag team action this time. It is Hokuto Moore and Naoki Tanzasaki defeating Ganon Anarchy, Rocky Honda and Misao Hanabata. 4 minutes and 26 seconds via elbow on Honda. Fourth match, 8-man tag team match with Fudo Jun Sato, Ray Sao, Kongo, and Susato, defeating Suwama, Satoshi Kojima, Kaz Hayashi, and the Gora television champ Minoru Tanaka. 8 minutes and 51 seconds via Psycho Break on Suwama. Tag team match, we had one half of the World Tag Team Champions Kento Miyahara and T-Hawk defeating Toma Hama and Ran Anabe. 12 minutes and 52 seconds via Blackout and Anabe. Then our semi-main event for the junior heavyweight title, the challenger Al Lindemann defeating champion Asuki Oyagi. 12 minutes and 20 seconds via German suplex. In the main event for the Triple Crown heavyweight title, one half of the World Tag Champions Yuma Oyagi defeating the champion Yuji Nagata, 21 minutes and 18 seconds via the Fool to win the Triple Crown title. And then we will go to DDT's Dramatic Dreams. This is Volume 10. So we care what tag match with Yusuke Okada and 6-man tag team Yuki Ishida defeating Kazuma Sumi in Illusion via 9.5 minutes. Excuse me. In a triple threat tag team match, we had Paramount's Yuki Ino and Tetsuki Dino defeat Yashiro Yurino and Soma Takago and Torio Washington Trans Am Hiroshi via Sexy Peeler, 9 minutes and 28 seconds. Non-title match, we had KOD tag champs Damnation TA, Tatsuki Sasaki, and MJ Paul defeating Tsubiya and over 40 champ Minoru Oshii via crossface lock, 8 minutes and 47 seconds. Tag team match with Universal Champions Endo and Kazuya Kamen defeating Korido and Antonio Honda via Burning Star Press, 14 minutes and 11 seconds. 6-man tag team match with Nick Wayne, Koho Kenoshita, and Yua Korioko defeating 37 Kamiya's Mo and Tol Kojima, Husoi Uni via Wayne's World, 12 minutes and 25 seconds. And then tag team match with Irashin's Yuki Sakaguchi and Saki Aikai defeating the Extreme Champion Kazuki Hira and No Name via PK, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. 6-man tag team match with Dick Togo, Manago Kishiwa, and Black Buffalo defeating Shihiro Iri, Yutu Kiyuji, and Takashi Masta via Last Ride, 14 minutes and 58 seconds. And the main event, semi-main event, 6-man tag team with KOD Openweight Champion Yuji Ino, Juno Akiyama and Hideki Okitani defeating Harashima, 6-man tag team Kazuchika Haraguchi and Akiko via King Kong Sleeper, 14 minutes and 2 seconds. In the main event, Yuki Ino defeating Hub via WR, 27 minutes and 55 seconds. And to close out this week's show, we'll end it with Dragon Gate's Kobe World Festival. So 2 pre-show matches. The first one with 6-man tag team match, we had Jihiko Boy, Takashi Yoja, and Problem Dragon defeating Genki Horiguchi, Punch Tamanaga, and Hololum, 3 minutes and 48 seconds via Pineapple Bomber on Tamanaga. In our other pre-show match, we have Seabrass's Kai and Hayo defeating Mushuki Jr. and Ryo Tanaka, 5 minutes and 13 seconds via Zero Kick on Tanaka. So main show starts with a 6-man tag team match with Dragon Gate, Lastra, and Ita defeating Keiichitora, UT, and Tara Nohashi, 2 minutes and 46 via DDT on UT. For the Open to Brave Gate Championship, the challenger Ishin defeating champion Jason Lee, 8 minutes and 27 seconds via Swing and Scrap Buster. Tag team match with Misaki Moshuki and Keno defeating Don Fuji and Shuji Kondo, 6 minutes and 2 seconds to PFS on Fuji. And then we had Shingo Takagi, who was the mystery opponent for Koguma Ishiwakwa. He defeated him at 17 seconds via Lyric, so they had a rematch. This time, Shingo defeated him at 5 minutes 55 seconds via TKO. And then for the Open to 20 gate titles, the champions M3K defeating the challengers Gold Classes Ben K, BB Hulk at 11 minutes via modified Yokosuka Cutter on BB Hulk. And we had a Hiromu Takahashi representing New Japan Pro Wrestling Division model, 14 minutes and 33 seconds via Time Bomb 2. For the Open Triangle Gate titles, the challengers Gold Class Kota Minoru and Minoru team with Rinariki Doi defeating the champions Natural Vibes' Kazi, Jackie Funk, Kame, Big Boss Mushu at 12 minutes and 31 seconds via Golden Rose on Kazi. And then our first of 2 main events. This is our semi-main for the Open the Dream Gate title. The champion Madoka Kigiyuta defeating the challenger Yuki Yoshioka, 23 minutes and 22 seconds for Royal Lariat. And the main event in a fatal five-way Mascara contra Mascara cage match. Basically, the rules are it's escape only. Once you grab your mask, you have to grab your mask. Whoever is the last one left must unmask. So Ultimo Dragon, Strong Machine, Jace, Shun Skywalker, and Dragon all escape. So Diamante is the final. He was left in the cage, so he must unmask at 37 minutes and 51 seconds. And that was Dragon Gate. That is the show for this week, guys. I'll be back on Friday with the shows from Monday for Thursday. Have a good weekend and good weekend. Stay safe.